Hey, this is Russ. I had a question from a viewer recently asking me if I would make a video or talk a little bit about the equipment that I use when I make my e-bike videos. And she's not the first one to ask me that. I've had other people ask me the same thing before about what type of camera do you use, what kind of audio recorder do you use, what kind of microphone do you use. So I figured the best thing to do is just make a video that kind of describes all the things, and then future people who ask me, I can just refer the video to them. All right. So if this video helps you, go ahead and share that with other people. And of course, hit the subscribe and like button because that helps me in terms of my channel. So let me talk real quickly about some of the things I use. Now, first thing I have is, you notice I have a safety vest on. I feel that's kind of necessary because that keeps you visible, and then of course cars don't run you over. Right? And always wear a helmet. Okay, now these things serve several purposes. First off, obviously the helmet is a safety thing, but if you take a real close look here, let me zoom in real quick here and move up. You'll see there's a microphone here. There's a little round ball, which is the windscreen. That's the lavalier microphone that I use. It's made by a company called Shure. Okay, Shure. Very famous microphone company. All right, and I have this thing snaked through the helmet, and then it comes out through the back here. And that then plugs directly into this thing. It's called a transformer. All right, and the transformer then takes the signal, is connected with a microphone cable. This is the same type of microphone cables that you would have for like a professional singing microphone. This is a 3-pin conductor XLR cable, and that goes all the way to, let me put this in the pocket here, so that way it won't be pulling me down here. So I just kind of clip it to the safety vest pocket. And that goes all the way to this. Now, this extra cable here, this is just the AC power cord that I have running it. Now, typically, I have this recorder running on batteries, but, right now I have it plugged into the AC power cord, okay? So you can pull this out, obviously, and it just runs on AA batteries. But that goes into this XLR end, and that plugs into the recorder. Now, the reason you need that is because the... Here, let me pull another transformer out here. Here's another version of this. Okay, here's the transformer. Okay, here's the microphone. Let me pull this out here. So here's what the microphone looks like. Okay, I'm trying to give you some background so it's black on black won't look too good. But here's the microphone and the windscreen. Okay, and that just clips onto the helmet, on the visor of the helmet. And then this end of the microphone cable plugs into the transformer. Okay, then the transformer plugs into let me pull another cable here, plugs into these XLR type cables. Okay, and so that goes that goes into here, and then this end of the cable goes into the recorder. Okay, so it's a lot of stuff that has to be plugged into. All right, so the Shure microphone that I'm using, I believe it's called an SL93, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe they still make this. They may have another version of this, but last I've seen, I think they may have discontinued this mic. I have two of them. And this transformer is called the SM93. Okay, I think they still have the transformers, but they must have replaced this with another microphone. I mean, companies update things all the time. So there's probably a new version. So just look around for the Shure lavalier mic. And I'm not really sure how much this thing runs. I think back in the time when I bought it was probably around $159, and that's the microphone and this transformer. Now you have to buy your own cable, so you're gonna have to buy these XLR cables, and you need one long enough to go to your bike or wherever you have your recorder. So the recorder again is this. This is the Zoom H4n recorder. Now the current model of this is called the H4n Pro. I think these typically sell in the area of about $229, $239, something like that on sale. So yeah, you need this because this thing provides 48 volts of phantom powering. And that 48 volts phantom powering is needed to drive this transformer, okay? So you cannot just buy any recorder because this particular microphone requires the transformer, and that transformer needs that 48 volts of power. So yeah, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money to do this. So the recorder records in stereo, but I have it set up to record in mono. And the reason is because I want the sound to come out of both left and right channel. And of course, we don't need stereo sound. It's just me talking typically. So set it up that way, okay? Now, as far as the camera I'm using the GoPro Hero 10, which is the most current version of the GoPro. And I have this mounted on a chest mount. So you see there's some straps here. I'll put a picture of the chest mount here so you can see it. Now, the Hero 10 is what I use because it keeps the video looking really stable. So even though I'm bouncing around on the bike and you can see my handlebars, you can see my hands, I'm bouncing and everything. If you look at the backgrounds, everything looks really stable. Okay, that's because of this camera. Before that, I was using another camera. I'll put a photo up here because that other camera is recording this video right now, so I can't show you it. But I was using a Canon G7X Mark II, which is a point and shoot camera. That was mounted to my chest, so you can imagine how that's bouncing around. And it doesn't have the same type of stability, built-in stability, as the GoPro. So when you were watching early Russ's Ride videos, you can see how I was bouncing all over the place, and the backgrounds look like they're bouncing all over the place too. Okay, and that Canon has stabilization. It just doesn't have enough to be able to do like a bike ride video. So getting the GoPro was kind of the best thing for me because everything looks really smooth now. So I can turn and do things, and everything just moves along with it. The GoPro, I believe, on sale typically is about $399. But it usually requires you to join their cloud service, which I think they charge you like $50 a year or something like that. Luckily for me, I was able to get out of that, and I don't pay for their cloud service. I don't use their cloud service, but the camera still cost me $399. It's a long story, but that's what I'm using. So what I'm looking at here is $399 or so for the camera, about $239 for the recorder. The microphone and transformer, I believe, was about $159. Yeah, it's not cheap, okay? Now, I record this audio separately from the GoPro. And the reason is because the GoPro camera, if you just use the microphones that are built onto the GoPro, it picks up way too much sounds from all over the place. So not only will you hear the wind noise, you're going to hear the road noise. It's going to be to the point where you're not even going to hear me talking. So let me show you this camera real quick here. So I'm going to disconnect it off of the chest mount. Okay, it's just a screw thing. And you'll notice that the GoPro, if you look, I have this fuzzy thing here, and I have a fuzzy thing in the front, okay? These are called dead cat filters. Yeah, they got weird names. It's just like a fuzzy looking, furry looking thing. There's a microphone up here. There's a microphone in the front of the GoPro. And what this dead cat filter does is it cuts down the wind noise so that the microphone could at least pick up some sounds. Now, you might be asking, well, why do you need to use this when you're using an external audio recorder? And the reason is because the external audio recorder does not connect directly to this camera, all right? So in order for you to synchronize your sound from your mouth to the video that the GoPro is recording, you have to have some software to do that, all right? So I'm using Apple's Final Cut Pro 10. It looks like an X, right? Roman numeral 10. The Final Cut Pro 10 is what I use for my editing, and I have that on my Apple computer. Now, I have two Apple computers that I'm using. I have the Apple Mac Pro, which is their big monster computer. Now, I have the one that looks like a little trash can. I'll put a picture up here for you. All right, this is an older version, but that computer was very expensive at the time. I think they were over $4,000 something, but it's a long story, but I got it a lot less than that. Okay, and then I have a MacBook Pro, which is a laptop, and that's actually faster than the old computer because it's a newer model. So here's what I do is I actually edit my videos on the MacBook Pro just to speed up the edits because I shoot in 4K. I shoot 4K 24 frames per second. And so I upload everything to the MacBook Pro laptop. I do my edits, okay? And then when the video is finally rendered and done, I take the video and I upload it to YouTube using my Mac Pro computer because for some reason the upload is faster with that computer than it is with my laptop. So I have a double process that I have to do, all right? So the Final Cut Pro is your editing software, and that editing software can take the audio from this recorder, okay, and the audio from this recorder and synchronize it together so that when you see me talking, my mouth moving matches whatever you hear. All right. Now, if you didn't have the software to do this, trying to manually match the two together, it's going to eventually get out of sync, and then then it sounds like a I hate to say it, but it sounds like one of those Chinese kung fu movies where you're talking, the mouths are moving, but the things don't match. Okay. But yeah, that's what would happen. So what the software does is it sees or hears the sound from the GoPro and matches it to the sound that's coming from the digital recorder. And it's actually not a difficult thing to do. You highlight both the audio track and the video track, and then you go up to the top and then you tell it to, I think it's under clips, something like that. And then there's a button that says synchronize. And if you click that, it'll synchronize the two audios together, replacing the audio from this with the audio from the digital audio recorder. That'll synchronize together, and then now you have a video that has perfect audio. Now, the whole point of using this mounted microphone is the windscreen on this thing cuts down a lot of the wind noise. Now, you always hear wind noise in my videos. There's no way to take it totally out, but you may have noticed on some people's videos, especially outdoor type videos, when the wind hits the microphone, it's so rumbling loud that even when the guy talks, you can't even hear the guy talking, or he's so distorted when he's talking because the wind noise has basically overloaded all the inputs to the audio recorder. So this lavalier microphone does a really good job as far as taking off enough of the wind noise that it doesn't ruin my sound. I mean, you hear me saying sometimes, like, I'll tell you guys that I can't even hear myself talking. That's true, because when the wind is blowing up against you and you're riding 20, 25 miles an hour with your bike, the wind blowing up against my ear, I can't hear a thing. Okay, all I hear is rumbling from the wind. But the microphone picks up whatever it hears, and then the windscreen cuts down all the wind noise. That's how you're able to hear me. Okay, so that's really the best way to do it, as far as I can tell. Got to get a really good microphone, and again, because it's mounted on my helmet, I can turn any way I want, and the volume is always consistent because the distance from the microphone to my mouth is always exactly the same distance. So it's not like you're taking a microphone and moving it around, and then you hear that the volumes change, but it doesn't change as I turn, because that distance is always exactly the same. Okay. So there you have it. That's how I do my videos, and overall, I've been very happy with how the results have been. The feedback I get from people watching, they like my videos and things. But one thing I will tell you too is that if you're going to make a YouTube channel, okay, and you want to have people be interested in watching it, you got to be able to talk, because really they're not really seeing me when I'm writing. They're just seeing everything that I'm seeing ahead. So what you say on the video is kind of important. So work on your your speech skills so that you have things to talk about and interesting things to talk about. So anyways, I hope this video has helped you. And like I said, if you have others who are interested in how do I make a YouTube video, this might be helpful for them. Go ahead and share this with everybody else. And do me a favor, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, because that really helps my channel out. I've noticed lately that many people watching my videos now are my e-bike video watchers. So yeah, let's spread that out. Let's make it happen. Okay. Anyways, thanks again, and hopefully this helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to put comments in the comments. I try to answer as many as I can, and yeah, we'll go from there. So thanks again. Subscribe, like, share with your friends. Talk to you guys next time.